Hey guys, and welcome to this first video in a brand new series called Coaching Counter-Strike. Now, the name is fairly self-explanatory, and we'll be covering all things coaching. So there'll be loads of crossover for all players and in-game leaders in particular. So stick around for some tips, and many of the things discussed will be applicable to all team esports and not just Counter-Strike. Alongside these regular videos in the series, we'll do some question and answer content. So comment below with any questions you have on coaching, leading, pro Counter-Strike, anything within reason. And if you'd prefer to remain anonymous, feel free to message me on Discord or Twitter. In this first episode, we're going to talk about how you should go about building a team or choosing players. And the most important place to start is with an in-game leader. So we'll kick off thinking about which qualities are pivotal for IGLs. Number one, fundamental game knowledge. Having a strong fundamental knowledge of the team game is crucial for in-game leaders. Making economic decisions, should you execute explosively or take your time, how to approach man advantages and disadvantages. Adding new strats and setups is fairly easy, whilst teaching an in-game leader good calling fundamentals and improving mid-round calling can take months of work. Number two, leadership qualities. It should be a surprise to nobody that an in-game leader has to be a good leader of people. And for me, key qualities are being decisive, confident, and articulate. Almost always in Counter-Strike, indecision is the worst decision, and consequently, you should stay well clear of indecisive IGLs. Number three, being a good role model. For a large part, coaches and IGLs set the tone for everyone else on the team. An IGL must have a good attitude when reflecting on matches into suggesting changes, and needs to be accepting of responsibility whilst encouraging a motivated and positive team environment. These traits are a great place to start, and after settling on an IGL, I recommend choosing your AWPer. Now, picking up somebody that is already a dedicated AWPer is likely to yield the best results, although if you're lacking for options, you can have a player with some AWPing experience committing to the role, like MSL in North, for example. And when I say commit here, I mean commit not for a few days or a few weeks, but for months. So once again, which attributes should a strong AWPer possess? Number one, confident personality type. Now, for me, this is a must-have quality for an AWPer, and I strongly believe that teams, particularly on the CT side, should be built around AWPers who are granted the space to decide how they want to play, and consequently, AWPers need to be comfortable with calling their moves and directing the players around them. Now, number two is knowledge of the team game. Now, when calling around themselves, AWPers need to have a fairly strong knowledge of how the team game is played to be effective, how to rotate, how teams take map control, how to approach man disadvantages, etc., etc. Beyond in-game leaders and AWPers, I think roles in CS are overblown, and I recommend maintaining an open mind when thinking about players. Now, as a rule of thumb, I suggest only having one high skill, high potential, and lacking experience sort of player. Think Frozen, Obo, or perhaps even Zywoo when he first joined Vitality. At the professional level, I think you're really going to struggle having multiple inexperienced players due to all the intangibles of communication, team play, and mid-round decision-making. At lower levels, you can have more leniency on this one, but I would keep this dynamic in mind. When considering players generally, some great qualities to scout out include coachability and mentality. Basically, anything in Counter-Strike can be taught over time, and many traits bleed over from embedding a flushed out system and structure, responding well to criticism, communicating well with teammates inside and out of the server, being proactive about improving their play. These are intrinsic to people's personalities and are pivotal to performing in a team. Another is appreciation of team fundamentals. Now, I've interacted with some players loaded with knowledge of ridiculous nade lineups or tiny individual tricks who simultaneously are straight up delusional about how the team game is played. CS is a game of information, communication, and decision making, not headshots and useless Molotovs. When players appreciate the fundamentals of Team CS, you'll have a much easier time directing the team and making changes as a coach. On the flip side, one aspect to avoid when considering players is ego and personality problems. These are big red alarms to avoid. Even so, don't judge a book by its cover and speak to players yourself. When on the fence, speak to former teammates to build a better picture of someone you are considering. Now, outside of rare cases, players with a history of disrespecting authority are regularly a waste of time and have caused issues for many an in-game leader and coach. Now, another is passive personality types. Experience has taught me that Counter-Strike suits people who are confident, vocal, and decisive. As a coach, I would prefer to rein someone in a little versus bring them out of their shell. Certainly, you can work with players to be more assertive, but when we begin considering the semi-professional and professional level, some people simply will not be able to hack it in the high pressure and competitive environment. Once you have 3 to 4 players, start to consider the overall makeup for the squad and begin drawing up potential CT spots and terrorist default spots. I strongly recommend having consistent site partners and playing mirrored spots. And this means having the same people on the A site and the B site on each map, with everyone playing the reverse of their CT spot on the T side. So for example, your B anchor on CT Mirage would be the AWPs player on the T side of Mirage. Having a vocal player on each bomb site is extremely important to ensure somebody is leading each CT bomb site and helping with that mid-round calling over on the T side. When choosing players, I place loads of emphasis on thinking about the dynamics of the bomb site, and will try to pair up more quiet players with the more vocal players to alleviate potential issues down the line. Of course, experience, mechanical skill, motivations, and amount of free time, among many other aspects, should be taken into account. And the main aim of this video was to shift people's perspectives on what qualities are most important when picking up players. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, I will be doing some Q&A videos, so post questions below, or if you'd rather remain anonymous, then feel free to message me on Twitter or Discord. Anyway, guys, that is everything for this one. If you enjoyed that, hit all the normal buttons. Social medias are linked below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.